Welcome back. Today we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be rigging our hair model. So this particular section of the hair doesn't have any bones, any physics at all as of yet, and we're gonna be doing that right now. So I'm gonna show you my process how I go about. So, for example, I already rigged the front part of the hair. Click up, press play, and play the physics. The hair moves, and I'm doing this in sections in the way that I want to remove the back of the hair and change it into a different hairstyle. So the front of the hair is usually the signature of your model, so you want to have that seen instead of constantly changing the whole entire hair model. I just want to change the necessary parts. For this is just the back. So if I don't want that little section, I just want the back from that to this, which is gonna be a long hair. And this is already been rigged, so it already has physics according to the front. And now let's work on the ponytail section. So let me turn this off. So that's the bangs, and here. So we can go to edit, and we can move it in the already has physics. We'll go back. So let's get started. Go to hair ponytail, back. So first thing we want to do is let me see if my screencast works. Tools. It doesn't work. Okay, so we're getting bugs on that thing. Alright, so no screencast to show forth. Shift A. Let's start adding a single bone armature. Click on new bone. I want to grab the armature and put it in my collection. That way it's easy to understand. I'm going to rename that armature bone. It's going to be Djp Haku Ponytail. Alright, so this is going to be our base. Go to edit, grab G, set, and then S to scale. And I'm going to put it right around the center. So right about there. From here, you want to open up your bone selection, and I want to rename this bone as a CRT, as a like control parent for Haku Ponytail. So this bone is going to be our parent for all of our bones. And right now I don't have any bones over here, but I want this bone to have full control over this section and the little rubber band. So to make that simple, my model is split into 3 sections: the hair, the rubber bands, and the main part. So this and this don't have any physics. The only things that are gonna have physics is the end part of the ponytail. So it makes it easier for you if you have a very complex piece of hair. You're probably better off doing exactly what I'm doing, cutting it up into several sections. That way you can hide, and then once you're done, you can merge them all into one object. For instance, here I'm gonna select that, and go to weight paint. Within weight painting, you can start painting your model. to the bone you selected. Okay, so for distance I didn't do any kind of run mode. So select mesh, select your bones, and select bones first and then your mesh. White paint. This, however, is it working? Did I? Show here, control here, white paint. Oh, I know what you did wrong. We need to parent our object to the bones. So you can go select your object, select the bones, and control P. And you can try automatic weights. For this instance, it might be possible since it's only like one mesh and one bone. So this will give and also give the correct vertex groups. That's what I was missing just a little while ago. So here, let's select and it looks like it totally failed. This seems like it didn't grab any weights into this mesh. So control click on your bone and then you can paint something on it, and that should be in that vertex group. To make it simpler, since this is a one full object, you can go to tab, edit mode, select all your selected mesh that you want to be attached to this bone, and just click assign. Go back out of edit mode, and as you can see now everything is red. So that means this bone has 100% taking control over that piece of mesh. Exactly what I'm looking for. So let's do the same thing for the let's go to object mode, select this rubber band, select R, nope, select this and select the bone, shift select the bone, control P, and I'm gonna go with empty groups. Empty groups, what that's going to do is gonna parent it, but it's not going to do any automatic weights. The weighting I'm going to do it manually, and it goes like so. Control that, bones first, then mesh, and weights. Select your bones and still just have 1 to 1. Make sure you have the vertex group selected. Go to edit mode, select all, and assign 100% of the weight. That once again gave it full control over that section. Now let's go to our complicated part. So now we're going to be creating all the bones to control our ponytail with the physics that we want. Here you're gonna have to decide whether or not how many bones you want it to work and how complicated you want it to be. For me, I want this section and this section to have its own bones. This section I think can only have one, so I can have these 3 hair loops with 1 bone, and yeah, I'm gonna have 3 bones, 1, 2, 3 for the middle section. So the simplest part is gonna be this ones, and every other strand will have its pretty much its own bone. So once you decide what you're gonna do, you're gonna click on your bone and go to edit. And I just wanna grab that bone and Shift and D, duplicate the bone. And I'm gonna use shortcuts to move my directions. So you want those to be downwards. You can go to your armature and flip direction is this one. You can go right click on it and add it to your quick selection by pressing Q, and that's how I have selected that one. And I also have symmetrize, auto name left and right. That's my quick selections. Instead of going up here all the time and looking for them, it just makes your life a whole lot easier. I want to select the snapping to be at volume snapping. That will have my selection to be snapped in the center of the mesh and not like outside or any other part. So now let's get, and let me hide this as we don't need to see it anymore. And ponytails, that one, where's the other one? Rubber band. Here. So you can do your work from all the way from the beginning. So let's put the rubber bands, but all the bones are going to be overlapping, so you don't necessarily need to put them all in the same spot. So my physics, I'm going to be adding them so around this line right here. So the beginning of my bone is going to be set to there. Grab bone and just click on that little section. Grab that one and place it there. Grab that part and let's place it there. And as you can see now, our bones are inside that piece of the mesh. One thing I also want to do is I want to make sure the bones are in front, that we can see them. So you go to your object properties panel and viewport display into in front. Let me work inside first. So let me grab this one and let's put it here. Oh, I extruded. I don't want to extrude. I want to grab you. Grab that little part, put you here, put you there. Okay, so this one will have control over these two noodles, pieces of hair. Grab this, control and parent it to your main parent bone. So we want to keep opposite. If you push connect it, we'll snap it right there to the top. Control P. So that is snap, and you can see those little dashed lines going into its parent. Another thing that you want to do is you want to rename the bones so they're manageable. For me, it's going to be Ponytail that I can differentiate. And I will keep the name .001. Once I'm done with one side, I'm going to use this little option. I'm just going to see auto rename. Just going to grab the one side of your mesh and symmetrize it to the other side and put the .L or .R on them. That will have the left and right, so you can easily weight paint your models. So here I have my mesh a pretty low density. And here you can decide how to do so. I like to have one bone for every 2 segments. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go extrude, and once I extrude it, the new bone gets a name with the .002. So let's see, I'm going to put the bones not quite in the center, but closer to this line. So select the tip, go over here, and then here, next one, I'm gonna go graph there. So at this point, this should start moving into the opposite side, back there. Extrude, extrude, keep pressing on E, 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 and then the tip. So we got 11 bones in that little segment. So it's going to be controlling that one. Grab the top one. And that's because that one's parented to your mother bone. Your parent bone over there. And once you do a copy, that one also has the parented in the right spot. So if you were to grab any other ones, that will keep the parent from which location. For instance, this one will be parented for that one, and this one will be parented to that one. So make sure you grab the very first one. It makes your life a whole lot easier to work with. And this one, I wanted to put it here. Put it here. Extrude. 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 And somewhere there. Okay, so we have those two. Grab the top one. And then we decided that this is going to be controlling 3 bones. So Shift D moves that one. Grab the tip. For around there. Extrude there, extrude there. So over 2 segments. And then the tip. Okay, that didn't snap to the tip. G. There. Okay, so now we have 2 more little extrusions to do. Grab that one. Move it over here. Undo that one. And then I want to extrude. I want to move you. G. Okay, so with 2 segments. Extrude. 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 Here, 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 and then 3 for the very end. Now for our final one, it's going to be right in the center. Shift D, create a new one. Grab that one there, that one there. Extrude, extrude, extrude. And then the very end. This particular one, since it's the center line, I want to make sure they're exactly at center. Doesn't need to be center. Just my little gripe. So I just go up there, go to the transform, just go on X and have all those X at 0. makes it snap right on point. Here, 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 and that one's already at 0. Okay, so at this point we are done with our bones. So we only need to do the one side. Blender will do the work and do our opposite side. Here, go to front view, so that way you can easily grab your selection key, grab your window select, and select all the bones on one side. Once you have that, we're gonna auto name left and right, and that's going to be under parenting. Where's that? Names. So here you got several options: left, right, front, back, top, and bottom. Or you can flip names. So what we want to do is have the R in dot L and dot R symmetry for our names. If you don't, Blender will not symmetrize your bones, as it thinks it's like this should be a center bone, so it doesn't give you that. But if you got the name with the dot L, it will do the symmetry. So let's auto name them, and this puts a dot L, or if you did it on your right side, it will put the dot R on yours. So as you can see, all our little bones have the dot L initiating. Grab our bones once again. So Control plus to make sure you grab all the bones. And now we're gonna do symmetrize. This symmetrizes your bones from one side to the other. And now we have full set of bones. So now we're done with our bone making, and our bone naming are pretty much automatically. Now let's go into our weight painting. Go here. Gonna grab this set of bones, this set of mesh, and now let's parent it to our bones. Control P, and once again I'm gonna choose with empty groups. You can go with automatic weights, and hopefully it gives you the right results. I want to make sure they work the way I wanted them, so I don't want to do any stupid cleanup later on. So I'm gonna go with empty groups and do my weight painting manually. So now your bones are linked to your bones. As you press on your mesh, you have all these vertex groups. Means all the names of your bones got transferred here as vertex groups. So click on our bones, click on our mesh, Alt P, weight paint. And let's start with something simple. Let's start with this line. Control and click. You can select. At this point, you can start to weight painting, but this kind of makes it kind of difficult, as you're not quite getting the right parts that you want. So hence, I don't use this method. Not for meshes like pretty complex like this when they're all overlapping each other. Control Z to undo. The way I do these kind of things is it helps also that you have like quad topology, so you can easily get some selections like so. You go to edit. Let me go to shade smooth. Alt Shift select, and then you selected the two faces that you want. I'm gonna press assign, and now that bone has control over that intersection. This, however, is too harsh of a cutoff, and I want a nice soft blend. So whenever the physics come into end, instead of having these jagged lines, I want a nice smooth blend between them. So I also have this little section in my quick selections, protect smooth, so I can press that one twice, and that it is weights by smoothing. So right click on it and add it to your favorites, makes your life easier. And now here I'm using an add-on, which I'll hopefully remember to say which one it is in the end. But I have the auto mirror, and it's just an add-on that enables me to do this. I just press that one, and that transfers exactly what I did on this side to its opposite side. So it means I don't have to do anything to that one. It helps immensely if you do any kind of weight painting. And now it's all a matter of rinse and repeat. So here you can pretty much skip or watch what I'm doing. Select that one, select that one, select that, control smooth, 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 transfer weights, go to the next one, select that one, assign, oops, see, smooth, 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 transfer weights. Go to the next bone. Grab that one, edit, select, assign, smooth, 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 transfer weights. Grab that one, select those two. You need to assign it, smooth, 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 transfer weights. I'll select those two. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Transfer weights. Grab that one. Sign. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Transfer weights. Select that one. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Transfer weights. So as you can see, this is the tedious part, like a bunch of rinse and repeat. Sign, smooth, 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 transfer weights. And one thing I did notice about this add-on is that sometimes in the very tips it doesn't quite get it all the time. So I always tendency to move it, and if something stays behind, you need to fix it. So at this point, what I do is grab this and just jack it up in space. That tells me two things: that it's working and also gets out of the way. Okay, so you can see that we have a deep sharp end, and that's because the beginning of our meshes don't have any weights at all. So you can do that right now or at the beginning. It's frozen. Come on. Click. Okay. So I click on the parent, right? So I want this parent to have some control over this initial part, and then it's gonna be blended into the hair. So I'm gonna go here. As you can see, is we have the parent is selected, and I'm gonna go to X-ray. Go 3. I'm gonna grab pretty much this little section, and then Control plus. So like around there. So around these areas where our first bones are initially starting. So I wanna assign that one 100%. Let's come back out of X-ray and come down. And then we have this, but now we also have this sharp edges. Once again, let's go with smooth and let's smooth that out. This one you can go pretty heavy and you're smoothing. The smoother it is, the softer the fall off is going to be. For instance, if I move this one, as you can see here at the very end, instead of having that harsh, sharp end, now you have this somewhat smoother look. And if you subdivide your model and you render, it becomes even smoother afterwards. Alright, so now let's work on this one. And this one is going to be covering 2 hair strands. It's going to be this one and this one. So let's grab that one. Let's go to edit. And as you can see, once you go to edit mode, it didn't quite follow. It didn't stay with your mesh, with your armature. Just go to your armature modifiers and just toggle these 2 ones. And now whatever your bones are, it's going to be following your deformations. So now we can easily graph our items without it being on the way. Select that one, and those 2. Go back to our vertex groups, press assign, smooth, 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 mirror. Go to one next to that one, select that one, that one, that one, and that one. Sign. And once again, it's just a bunch of repetition. Select that one, that one, that one, and that one. Sign. Smooth. Transfer weights. Select that one, that one, that one, and that one. Sign. Transfer weights. That one, select that one, that one, that one, and that one. Sign. Smooth. Okay, let's go to this one. Alt Shift. Oops. Press the right keys. Sign. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Transfer weights. Okay, edit. Sign. Smooth. Transfer weights. Sign. Smooth. Transfer weights. Select those 2. Transfer weights. Sign. Smooth. Transfer weights. And at this point, I don't think I need to do it the opposite side. Sign, and then just move, transfer weights. Okay, so everything looks like it should. Grab that one, move it up in the air. Grab that one, move it up in the air. Alright, so now this one's gonna be controlling 3 pieces of this piece of hair. So we want to grab that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Sign. And mirror weights. Okay, can I make sure that I did grab the right ones? Yeah, because that one's in behind it. Okay, I'm good. Grab that one. That one. That one. That one. That one. And possibly this 3. Smooth. Transfer weights. One, two, 3. Sign. Transfer weights. Select those. Those 2 will do. And those 2 will do. Smooth. Transfer weights. Grab that one up here. And those 2. And transfer weights. Here, 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 here. Sign. Transfer weights. Okay, sign. Here, here. And then all this ones at the very end. And transfer weights. So at this point, I don't need to do any more multiple strands. Sign, smooth. All right, so that is done. Put that one up. Move that one up. That's good. So we got 2 more strands to do, and we are done with our braid painting. Gonna do Control Save because I haven't saved for quite a while. Let's do this ones, and this one's just 1 strand, so it should be pretty quick. Smooth, transfer, grab that, smooth, transfer, grab those 2, sign, smooth, transfer, and sign, smooth, transfer. Sign, smooth, transfer. And seems like I got some error here. Yeah, it's not doing a complete smooth transfer. But okay, that did it. You just need to do it from this side. Grab those 2. No, I cannot get it. So since these ones are like pretty much overlapping with each other, it got confused as where to like do the mirror. So here, smooth that one out and then transfer that one back. And that one looks better. Actually, yeah, that one. Sign, smooth, weight transfer, and that one was good. Let me do this little segment. Sign, smooth, weight transfer. Let's see if everything worked. That one looks good, and that one looks good. Final strand. Those 2, sign, and we have little error here. I guess I was stupid enough. I press transfer, but okay, so this particular one, there you go, that fixed it. Let's put a little smooth on it. Here, sign, smooth, grab that one, sign, sign, Control click. Grab that one. Sign, smooth. Control click. Sign. And then the last one. Sign. Grab this. Everything looks good. So now press A for all, Alt R, G, and S, so you can put all your the bones back into place. And now we are done with our weight painting. We control save. Let me toggle on our hair. Let me go out of weight painting mode, and let me go to post mode. So that controls that one. Here you can see, just gonna check out that you're moving the right strand and not a bunch of odd ones. Okay, so initially that looks good. Now let's add our physics. And for physics, it's gonna depend on what kind of engine you're gonna be using. I'm gonna be doing this for my Blender models, so the physics is gonna be cloth simulation, and that I'm using another add-on that it is. Let's see, come on. Control here, grab those bones, go to edit mode, select all the bones that you want to have the physics selected, and the add-on is bone cloth or bone physics. It's called Gravity Collider. I'm using 1.02. And this is as simple as just pressing like 2 little buttons. Initialize collision boxes. It creates this bunch of little cubes, and they're all gonna be using cloud physics. And with that, you can modify them, size, scale, width, however, if you have something pretty unique. For hair, what I've noticed is that the standard sizes that it creates, it is pretty much perfect, and most of them are not gonna be intertwining with each other. So you can edit them. If you don't, you just make collision boxes, and that pretty much finalizes them. You can press play. And now that you have hair physics on them. One thing you need to do now is grab your mesh, drop it in the same collection, and now you need to parent them to your bone, or else they're gonna stay in place. For instance, you press play. As you can see, they're not following the I'm not quite following it right. That's because they're staying in place. They don't have a parent yet. So grab your mesh for your cloud simulation. Control click. Not control. Shift click on your bone. Alt tap. So you go into post mode. Click on your parent bone. Right. Or whatever bone you have there that's going to be controlling it as a parent. So if you have bone here, that's the parent bone for this particular set, click on that one, and then press Control P, and you're going to be control to parent. I mean, parent to bone. So now where this bone goes, let me turn that off because that is doing that. The cloth simulation will go with it. Like it should without any issue. I don't know why it's bumping out of place. Okay, I think it's because this is the initial part, and I most likely have one of its many children. Let's see, but that will be solved after you save your file and close and open up your file. Because if you go unused data blocks, you're getting rid of a bunch of little copies. So this creates a bunch of copies of itself, and then at the very end you kind of merges them. So I didn't quite grab the initial one, the proper one. Most likely I grabbed the copy, but that's what you have to do, is parent it to that one, and now you should have the physics. Another thing I like to do, instead of having this like droopy physics, I want to control how much influence I have between them. And to do so, I add a modifier, which is a vertex weight. But first of all, I need to add a new vertex group to the physics. So click on your physics, go to edit, select all. In your vertex groups, add a new vertex group and call it whatever you want. Just make sure it's noticeable. I'm gonna call it pin. And what do I have my log? Pin. Oh. And with a weight of 100%, so 1. First assign. So every single one of these vertices are assigned to 100% to that one group. And what this lets me do is grab the pin group and then go to pin all, and then you're gonna do a mix between this pin group, which is the very tip of your cloth. You're gonna mix it with your 100% cloth, which means they're not gonna be moving at all. And you wanna change this to all. Right? So now, and with your influence, you can play with this to see how much physics you have. So here you can go back and forth, and you might think it's not working, right? And that's because it's doing the weight painting mix after the fat of your cloth. So all you have to do is grab this guy and move it above your cloth physics. So the cloth physics you want to have the very end. And now you can press play, and now you can either have it 0% weight, but since this is anime hair has a particular shape. So you want to increase this one slightly until you kind of have that shape. So mostly around 20 for me keeps its shape. And now if I go to edit mode, post mode, I can move the hair around, and it should pretty much relatively keep its shape. Still not doing that little weird extra position part. But yeah, there you go. That's how it is. And let me save this and open up a new file to see if that got fixed. Control save. Okay. And now let me show you the add-ons I use. So there are two particular ones that help you do this. One's going to be for the colliders, and one's going to be for the weight painting. Okay, so let me go to my assets, hair, models. It should be the proper file. Okay, it is. Still did that weird thing. Okay, so that means it has a wrong parented issue. I'm gonna go Alt P and clear parents. And now there's not parented to anything, so that's exactly what I want. So click that one and click our bone, go to pose, click on that one and Control P to the bone. Oh, come on, not. It's irritating. Why is it not working? Control R-G. Okay, grab that one. Why are you not following it? Go here, select all RGS, go back. Oh, it lost its parent. Why? I just told you what. Here, here, P, Control parent to bone. Why are you not following the parent? For some reason it doesn't want to like grab this parenting, so let's go to P Haku. Oh wait. Oops. Made it to itself. That one. Okay, now it's following it. Gotta tell its parent by hand. Okay, so ideally you want to have it like that to the bone as the control one. And because it has physics, it's doing that stupid thing. Okay, so we're a parenting issue I'm having. But okay, so let me finish this up by showing you the two add-ons. So one's gonna be, let's see, cloth. No, it's not called cloth. It is bone. It is Gravity Creator Physics is the one I'm using for the physics. Right. It is by Mini Eva and AC Mabel 9. And the other one's gonna be by it's gonna be weight paint. Yeah, okay. It's gonna be weight paint tools. Okay, and this one's gonna be by Bartok's Steiperknek. I cannot pronounce that freaking name. But if you look at those ones, and this one's gonna help you a lot for any kind of weight painting. And with this, let's call this a night, and this will just finish with the model is being like so. All right, catch you guys next time.